Now arriving at Lijiang Tower.
Don't you think the truth tastes so bittersweet? Don't you think the truth tastes so bittersweet? Summer through fall, I hear starry eyes for you. Just give a call and we'd run anywhere with a fuse. Yeah, and you're Mercedes, tell me I'm your dream come true. We threw fuel on the fire, but it burned out quick. Adored the thought of love, but it never did stick. Don't you think the truth tastes so bittersweet? We're losing all the feeling that we get high on the streets. I think we hit the ceiling, babe. Death for you, death for you and me. Strange to believe that we were just a fantasy. Yeah, we were self-deceived and thinking we were meant to be. Don't you think the truth tastes so bittersweet? We're losing all the feeling that we get high on the streets. I think we hit the ceiling, babe. Death for you, death for you and me.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's first Overwatch game of the new season.
It's a rivalry game. Let's freaking go, boys!
It's a brand new semester. It is a brand new year. And tonight we've got the Concordia University of Nebraska finishing off in the placement season 4 Overwatch against Concordia University, Wisconsin. So it's going to be a very nice game tonight. I think our music is still going. I'm not hearing any game audio. Let's make sure we got our game audio working. I can't hear it through the headphones. Momentary pause while we get the sounds fixed. I'm just not hearing anything. Check to see if it's playing over there. Alright, well, in the meantime, while that gets itself... oh, there's the sound.
Can you hear the countdown?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, here we go. So we're getting started with the new season. We've got Logan the Fry as Tracer, Skelly Wolf coming in as Mercy, Got Jams coming in as Diva, Echoes Bleach coming in as the boy Baptiste, Tywood as Sigma, and Reactions 103 as Echo. And as the two teams move in, it looks like CUW is going to start by moving on to the point. You can see Concordia sort of doing a little bit of a flank. Logan the Fry trying to sneak around behind, get a couple of picks as Tracer there. But it looks like most of the fight's going to be happening on front there. On the CUW side, looks like they're going to get the first pick. And looks like CUW is also going to take the point. We've got Texas coming in as Diva, Jamaro as Symmetra, Duckinator as Mercy, Bloodba as Ron, Nathan as Winston, and So Fresh as Soldier D6. And you can see here, CUW is going to start diving in. Looks like they're almost able to T-Mac practice there. It doesn't quite happen, but that first ultimate's going to get dropped. That's going to go to Keaton. That's going to be that nano there being dropped. And it looks like they are just going to move in and get everybody basically pushed down. And that's going to basically be a team wipe there for Concordia, forcing them to have to go back to the ship to reset. Reactions gets the first pick for CU and E getting Campaign picked up. You can already see that there's a couple of ultimates getting formed there on the CU and E side. Duckinator still got his, and So Fresh still got theirs. We'll see what gets moved here. CU and E coming out with 4, and there's going to be 2 ultimates dropped right there, and then 1 being dropped as well there. That's Symmetra shield there. And that's going to give CUNE the chance to move in onto the point. That Diva Bomb coming in from, 2 Diva Bombs coming in there. And it looks like Cactus is going to be the one to get the first pick, though. And that's going to be almost another team wipe there. Yep, looks like that's just about everybody. And they're going to have to reset again as CUW holds on to this point. You can already see that ticker going up to 75%. If CUNE wants to get a chick and have a chance at contesting this first objective, they're going to need to move in and move in soon. And with those ultimates that they just dropped there, you can already see that there's not a good chance going for them right now. Cactus managing to pick off Tywood, canceling out that ultimate entirely. And that ticker's still counting up there. And CUW's basically got them held in at that wall. So unless CUNE can make it through, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. That's going to be round number 1 going right to CUNE, or CUW, I should say. And that'll be the first round knocked out there. Just a lot of team wipes going in there on the CUW side. They did a very good job of managing to secure that point and then continuing to push CUNE back further and further away from that objective. As we get into our next objective spot here, the night market, we'll see if there's going to be any swaps between the teams. And already Logan the Fry switching himself over to Reaper. No, doesn't look like anybody on the CUW side is going to switch over there. They've already got a pretty decent team composition, and from what they saw in that last match, it seemed to work out really well for them. And as I say that, Logan the Fry switches again, going to switch over to Symmetra now. And as we get ready for this next round, we'll see what happens here. A couple of big things to note with this matchup, or this specific objective, is there is a lot of good chances for environmental kills. You'll see that objective there coming up on CUNE's right side there. There's a lot of open space just around there. CUNE is going to take the teleporter from Symmetra and use that to move onto the point earlier, but already CUW moving around to that side there. You can see that teleporter being dropped there on a different spot. First pick of this round is going to go to CUNE though. They're going to take off Pectus, and they're going to move on to try to contest the point. You can see though, there's still a few people from CUW on that point. And you can see that Symmetra trying to move in there, but CUNE is going to keep that point and get the first capture. Skelly gets a res on Logan after getting picked off by SoFresh. You can see a lot of that main action happening right there in that front there. You can see CUW sort of bunched up just around that corner, using that line of sight to their advantage. And they definitely want to keep themselves protected. Already some ultimates getting built up there. Echo's Bleach already 80% there. And it looks like that Symmetra teleporter that we saw CUNE use earlier is going to happen one more time. First ultimate of the game coming out from Logan the Fry, going to drop that wall there. And Reaction's going to get a couple of picks. Coming in with a second one. Barely picking off Pectus there. And looks like another ultimate there by Ken Eam, going to try and drop that monkey. We'll see if that does anything, but it doesn't look like it's going to do too much aside from bat somebody around again. And Reactions is going to get another pick off as CUNE manages to hold it in.
Adjusting angle of
You can see the two teams now getting themselves reset. Duckinator and Jamaro getting their ultimates just now. But Gotjam, Skelly, and Echo's Bleach all have theirs formed as well. Reactions almost has his as well. And speaking of ultimates, there comes the two right there. We're going to see that Symmetra wall and that window, the BAP window there. Pectus gets the pick off on Jams' tank, and here comes another ultimate there. And there's another one there. That
Winston.
Echo. Few ults coming in there. You can see the Soldier coming in there. Tywood gets a couple of ults. Logan the Fry gets another one. And they're still moving on there. You can see CUW hasn't been able to successfully swap the point yet. And with another thing there, it looks like they're going to do a pretty good job of holding. CUW's got about one more decent push left in here. You can see them sort of regrouping and getting ready for that final push there. And we'll see what happens here as they get ready for that last push. Already Pectus swapping off to Roadhog, try and get a little bit of advantage with that extra health regeneration. But we'll see if they can actually move on. They've got to move in quick. It's already 95%. SoFresh gets a pick off on Reactions, having swapped over to Farah. And that Diva Bomb going to come in. Gets a nice pick there on Canny and a remake there. SoFresh gets another pick off on Echo's Bleach. And you can see here we're now into overtime just because we've got a couple of those CUW people still on. Pectus manages to get picked off. That's going to be a team wipe for CUW. And that's going to bring us into round number 3, bringing the score 1-1.
Let's go!
A little bit of a different approach this time around with CUNE, doing a very good job of staying on the point. This one was interesting just because there's so many different options and ways to get in that it makes it a lot easier for them to just wait and let CUW come in here. And as we get ready for this last and final round here, this is going to be at the Lijiang Tower Gardens. You can see that objective point right there in the middle. As our teams get ready and swapped around, we're going to see Reactions 103 switching over to Farah. And looks like the rest of the team for CUNE is going to stay the same, though. Pectus switching back over to Diva.
He's just Reaction.
And Jamaro switching over to Soldier 76. We'll get into this last round now. You can see here, with CUNE, they've got that Symmetra teleporter. That'll probably be dropped here pretty quickly. Alrighty, we've got that Farah Mercy coming in on both sides. And it looks like Logan the Fry is going to drop that teleporter and use that to get people back on the point. SoFresh, however, is going to get the first pick of the game, taking out Logan the Fry, knocking out that Symmetra there. Pectus coming in as Diva, trying to get a little altitude there. Reaction's almost falling into the ground there, but not quite going to happen. And as the point gets unlocked, it looks like CUNE is going to get the first capture. Unfortunately for Reactions, looks like he just wasn't quite able to make it and gets environmentally killed. CUW starting to move in on that point. You can see that brawl coming in. We've already got that Immortality Field dropped. Quick sleep, but it doesn't quite seem to do anything. And you can see there's that nice bit of natural cover there that both of these teams are doing a very good job of playing around. Echo's Bleach already got an ultimate there as Buddha, and that's going to get dropped, being put onto that monkey. And Jamaro, Pectus going to get a couple of picks, Reactions, and Echo's Bleach coming in. Jamaro getting another one, picking off Tywood there. CUNE is still holding on, though, and it looks like it's going to be just barely enough. They're still trying to hold on, contest that, and keep that point as long as they possibly can. You can see it's still going on there. Got Jams finally getting DMX'd there, and they are going to get that pick, and with a 38% capture rate, that's going to flip it over to CUW. You can see a couple more ultimates still there. Reactions having just dropped, Reactions having swapped over to Soldier 76, I should say. We've got almost four ultimates on the CUNE side, and almost four ults on the CUW side. CUNE looks like they're going to go around here on that left side, try and get a little bit of a different angle in. With that right side, there's a lot of wide open space. And there's going to be 1, 2 ultimates dropped right there. Logan the Fry managing to get a nice pick there off of So Fresh, but Love Duck Handy gonna get some more. Duckinator coming in with that res, and Pectus coming in to knock out Echo's Bleach. CUNE is gonna have to reset themselves, and as CUW moves in just to get some nice some cleanup there. No real switches here. You can see a couple of things being dropped, some more ultimates being formed as well, and CUW now has the advantage in that capture. Just about to cross over the 50% mark. CUNE getting themselves regrouped and ready to move in here. You can see some new ultimates coming in there. Getting ready. That Pectus Diva Bomb going to be a big one, but depending on how Tywood is able to manage that shield with Sigma, it'll come in very handy. Reactions now switching back over to Echo. 60%, and that window's going to get dropped, as is the Pectus Diva Bomb. At both Diva Bombs from the tanks coming in here. Pectus managing to get a pick on Logan the Fry, and Gotjam's getting a pick on Duckinator. That's actually getting a little bit more advantageous, just as they are able to get a support. We'll see that Reactions gets a pick off there on So Fresh. Tywood gets a nice pick on Jamaro, and as also manages to D-mech. They're going to need to start moving out of that point, though, and they're going to start moving in and capturing it, as that round's just under the 90% mark, flipping it back over to CUNE. You can see a few ultimates there on the CW side. As I say that, Jamaro gets his visor there. And a couple of ultimates. There's one for Skelly Wolf right there. Not a whole lot on the CUNE side, so if they want to be able to win this next team fight, they're going to need to play smart. You can see CUNE starting to look to move over to that. CUW moving in that same offside there, just because there's a little bit less wide open space. It looks like this next team fight's going to be a bit more brawl heavy. And as CUW rotates to that side, we'll see that Winston mini bubble shield try to drop in there. And Duckinator gonna drop that Mercy ultimate. Logan the Fry gets a nice pick off on Pectus, knocking that Diva right off the map with those rockets. And you can see now that we're gonna see the Pharah ultimate coming in there. Gets 2 picks. Reactions though comes in with a nice pick on So Fresh. Jamaro's gonna come in. Both of those visors coming in. Logan the Fry getting a nice pick off on Duckinator. Tywood's gonna come in. There's gonna be some brawling going on. It's a 4-on-3 right now. 4-on-4, I should say. And that's going to start shifting things. Both the tanks, Logan the Fry is down. The question is, will it make it into overtime? Right now, it's just kind of a stall to see if Skelly can stay. It is, and now we're in overtime as CUW gets themselves swapped over and rotates in. This is going to be an incredibly close match. The challenge now for CUNE is to get themselves onto that point before the ticker goes away entirely. And they're going to need to move in quick. Reaction's going to try and tap in. Taps in at the last second. Barely makes it in. And is going to drop that ultimate there. You can see that Diva Bomb coming in. The window coming in as well. You can see, watch out for that. Pectus dropping a couple of things there. Jamaro picking off Logan the Fry. It's still a very heavy brawl on that point. It's a 4-on-4, a 3-on-3, a 2-on-5. This is an intense one. CUW barely picking off everybody on that team. That's going to be a team wipe for CUNE. And the first game is going to go to CUW 2-1. And as we'll take a look here to see what our play of the game for this round was. A couple of GGs going out in the chat. Looks like Logan the Fry is going to get it from that Symmetra. I'm going to assume this is from our second round. Yep. Nice couple of things there. Just some aggressive lasering there going off by that Symmetra. And even canceling a nice ultimate as well, just to finish everything off. And we'll see these cards coming in. Some nice work there by healers and DPS and tanks on both sides. And as the teams now get themselves ready for the next round.
Worthy of repetition.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get now into our second round here. This is going to be Eichenwald. This is a bit of a hybrid map. So the first objective for both teams is to capture this payload, which you can see here. And then as that payload gets itself captured, to drag it and push it into the castle. You can see our teams getting themselves ready here. And we'll see which teams are attacking and defending first. And from the looks of things, it'll be CUNE coming in on the defense first. We can see them getting themselves picked up and set up now. We've got Reactions 103 coming in as Echo, Tywood coming in as Sigma, Echo's Bleach coming in as Anna, Got Jams 334 coming in as Diva, Skelly Wolf coming in as Mercy, and Logan the Fry as Symmetric again. Get a nice little framing there of Tywood. And then on the CUW side, we've got Pectus coming in as Diva, Jamaro as Junkrat, haven't seen him yet today, Duckinator as Anna, Ludba, goodness gracious, I will be able to pronounce that at one point, coming in as Moira, Kaneem once again as that monkey ape Winston, and So Fresh once again as Soldier 76. And the round begins now. CUW moving in, and you can already see a couple of those placed, there. Jamaro gonna get the first pick off, knocking out Echo's Bleach, but not before Mercy can come in for a res. Huge nade coming in from that Anna, basically getting everybody on the CUNE team canteen. And already there's a DMEC there of Got Jams by Jamaro as well. And as I say that, Tywood also gets a nice DMEC. Lubda managing to get a pick off on Logan the Fry. And Logan the Fry is one of his turrets managing to pick off Lubda. So Fresh gets a nice little pick there on Tywood. Reactions picking off So Fresh. A little bit of back and forth between these two teams here. You can already see that neck being brought back in. And with just 2 left on the point, CUNE already starting to drop back to points as some of their teammates come back in. It is a little bit of a brawl heavy there. You can see that Jamaro gets another pick off on Reactions. Not before Logan the Fry can get a pick off on Jamaro. Res coming in there by Skelly. And as the brawl and the team fight starts to move closer to the point, you can see that Kaneem is doing a very good job of just pressuring that back line and keeping aggressively on the points, but also knowing when to bop out. And Ultimate coming there, being dropped by Reactions. He's going to do a quick mirror of Diva on their side, just to start pushing in, get a little bit of Ultimate charge there. You can see that Ultimate coming in. There's that Diva bomb. Won't be able to do too much though, before Reactions is able to get back out. You can already see some more Ultimates coming in there on the CUW side. Tomorrow, Duckinator, and Lubda already have theirs fully formed. On the CUNE side, after Reactions dropped his, we got Tywood and Echo's Bleach both with theirs. Another Ultimate coming, being dropped there too, in fact. Tywood's gonna get a nice poke up on So Fresh. Skelly gets a nice res, but Jamaro's tired, gonna get Skelly, and Pectus comes in, and Jamaro comes in to get a few more, and it looks like that's gonna be basically a full sweep there. Logan the Fry trying to move on a point, stall a little bit of time, but you can already see that the CUW team has got this point captured with a little under 2 minutes left on the clock. As I say that, it turns to 420 because now it turns into a payload. Already the tank's moving up. You can see both Pectus and Kenny moving up, trying to keep testing and grabbing a little bit more of that space. Jamaro also moving up as well, and it looks like that's going to leave Duckinator back there on the payload, basically just sitting there and pushing the entire thing. For CUW, they're wanting to get as much of that space contested as they possibly can. Logan the Fry switching off now over to Reaper, and that actually does a good job for him as he's able to get the first pick there on Kaneem. Diva bomb it in there. A Diva bomb coming in from the CUNE side. Unfortunately not going to get anybody. Pectus gets a nice pick though on Skelly Wolf, and Jamaro gets a pick off on Logan the Fry. Pectus kind of working around in that back line there, picking off Reactions as well. And it looks like it's going to be another pretty clean sweep for CUW as they're basically forcing Tywood back into, almost entirely back to their spawn point. That's basically leaving that objective entirely uncontested because the entire rest of that team is up on CUNE as close as they can get. If CUNE wants to be able to get some of that space back, they're going to need to move up and start moving up quickly. Another Junkrat Ultimate coming up. You can see that tire being dropped around. That's going to get a pick off on Echo's Bleach. Barely able to get a move in before that Diva Bomb comes in. A few more Ultimates already being dropped there. That's like 3 on the CUW side. Kaneem coming in as well, trying to bat people around as much as possible, but that objective being contested a little bit. Not enough though, and CUW is going to get the second capture, bringing it to 4 minutes and 15 seconds on the clock. You can see those tanks on the CUW side are doing a fantastic job of just moving up, clearing as much space as they possibly can, just to keep CONE from moving forward. Reactions gets a nice pick on Kaneen. That's going to give them a little bit more of that space they need to get in and contest more. But with 3 minutes and 57 seconds left on the clock, if they want to prevent that payload from getting all the way up, they need to start murking hard. So Fresh comes in with that soldier ultimate there. A huge nade coming in from Duckinator. Going to take off 2, 3, and they're going to use that to their advantage, get a couple more picks. Logan the Fry comes in with So Fresh. Reaction's going to drop his ultimate, get a few more picks there. Unfortunately, doesn't do much in terms of kills. Pectus doing a very good job of moving and getting a few more picks. Pectus and Tomorrow have been working incredibly hard this game. Tywood, unfortunately, going to get it picked off by Duckinator, and that's going to give CUW the chance to move up as far as they possibly can to prevent that payload from getting contested anymore in this last bit. As I say that, CUNE manages to move on there. They're going to stay on there. A couple of switches coming in. Logan got Jams, goodness, switching over to Reinhardt. 2 shields coming up now. You can see another one. Tomorrow's Riptire coming in, getting a pick on reactions. A few more picks coming in. You can still see Tywood moving around there, doing his best to contest, but he's going to get picked off. And Logan the Fry barely makes it in, but not quite enough. And with 2 minutes and 55 seconds left on the clock, round 1 is going to be a 3-0 for CUW.
Score 0-3.
But with that second round coming in, we'll see if CUNE is able to match that aggression and that payload pushing. You can see now that we've got that full set there, we'll see what CUW decides to go with on the defensive side on things, as well as CUNE without offense. A big thing to notice here that we're going to need to see how well CUNE can match, and we saw it a little bit in that last round as well. CUW was able to do a very good job of playing incredibly aggressively. We saw it in that first point at Lijiang Tower. We saw it a whole lot on the offensive side for Eichenwald. The question is, can CUNE match that offensiveness on this offense? We've seen in the past, you could see as well in that last round, CUNE does a little bit less aggression when it comes to playing on the defense or offense side. They tend to stay a little bit closer to the point, try their best to keep themselves more conserved and held in, which for CUW they've been able to use that to their advantage, getting as much space as possible. So the question is, will CUNE be able to match that offensive aggression in this next round? As the teams get themselves set up here, we'll take a nice look at Logan the Fry as Reaper, and he leaves. For the CUW side, we've got Pectus as Diva, Jamaro once again as Junkrat. That Junkrat was doing a lot for him this last game. We'll see what he does this time. Duckinator as Anna, Ludba as Mercy, Kaneen once again as Winston, and So Fresh as Soldier 76. On the CUNE side, we got Logan the Fry, Skelly as Reaper, Skelly Wolf as Mercy, Got Jams as Reinhardt, Echoes Bleach as the boy Baptiste, Tywood as the man himself, Sigma, and Reactions as Farah. And as I start saying, though, So Fresh and Jamaro get the first 2 picks of this round, managing to get both Echoes Bleach and Tywood. Skelly manages to come in with the res, but not before So Fresh is also able to pick off Gap Jams. You can see here that, once again, CUW playing very aggressively. They've moved almost entirely outside of that choke point. They're playing over it. Tywood gets a nice pick there on Jamaro, and they're going to start to contest against that choke point there. Moving back in, the big challenge now for CUNE is, can they move through this successfully? And they're through. The question is, will it be able to stick? Logan the Fry moving out, getting slept by Duckinator. Pectus gets a nice little pick off on reactions there, but it looks like the teams are pretty much all the way through. Ludda already got that ultimate fully formed, and they're going to drop that. Pectus and Duckinator getting a nice couple of picks there. Echoes Bleach able to get Pectus D-mech from that Diva mech. And another ultimate there getting dropped. You can see that there's a little bit of fighting going on here on the objective. Not much, though, as CUW gets a nice full push back and reset, forces the CUNE team to reset. We got a little under 2.5 minutes left on the clock in this round here. Still a decent amount of time, but already CUNE is at a major disadvantage when it comes to time. We noticed in that last round that CUW was able to move through that first choke point incredibly quickly. Reaction's getting a nice pick there on Jamaro. So the question is, can CUNE capitalize on that? A couple of ultimates being dropped. Skelly dropping that Mercy ultimate there as well. And the Farah ultimate being dropped as well. Gonna get a pick off on Duckinator. but Reaction's gonna get a nice pick there. Skelly manages to get the res on there, and looks like that objective contesting is finally going to move in. Reaction's trying to get some nice picks off on Pectus there. Still moving in there. You can see that Pectus just being on that point has been able to keep this point contested this entire time. And now that Pectus is picked off with a little over a minute and 30 seconds, CUNE is going to capture that point. You can see Logan the Fry moving up there, already starting to get a nice couple of picks. Duckinator getting picked off. Bloodbug going to get that res there. Reaction's getting a nice pick as well on So Fresh. You can see down there below Winston starting to move in there. Kaneem trying to get a little bit there. And he's got his ult almost fully charged. Logan the Fry going to try and back out a little bit here. You can see, once again, like I mentioned before, already CUNE doing a very good, playing a lot more conservatively. They're playing a bit closer to that point. They're not necessarily wanting to move as far up in the channel, take nearly as much space as CUW did in their last round. And as I say that, Kaneem's going to drop an ultimate. Duckinator's going to drop an ultimate. Bloodbug's going to drop an ultimate. Got Jams attempts to drop a Ryan ultimate, but unfortunately gets stunned, and So Fresh is going to get an ultimate dropped as well. That's going to be almost 5 ultimates there for the CUW team, and they're going to be able to use those all incredibly well, basically pushing CUNE back and away from that objective. Just a little under 2.5 minutes left to go. Pectus already moving up, trying to get a little bit of extra ultimate charge. You can see he's already 91% of that ultimate. We've got 4 though on the Concordia Nebraska side though. Logan, Skelly, Echoes, and Tywood all have theirs. The question is, how will they use them in this next team fight? In fact, speaking of ultimates, look back there in the back. You can see Logan the Fry sneaking around, trying to find a good spot to go. And it looks like CUW's basically on top. They're ready to drop in and dive down. Logan the Fry gets a pick on Duckinator. Jamaro gets a pick on Echoes Bleach. And once again, not a lot going on there. We could hear that Reaper ultimate getting dropped in the back, but it doesn't look like it did anything in particular. Logan the Fry was able to get a nice pick afterwards on Ludva, but Jamaro makes it back and picks off Logan the Fry. We got a little bit over 2 minutes left on the clock, and considering CUNE hasn't even managed to push this payload all the way to that second choke point, it's given CUW a lot of time to regroup and get themselves ready for this next team fight. Just under 2 minutes left on the clock now. CUW starting to regroup, move in. We'll probably see that Pectus ultimate getting dropped here just to start an initiated fight. There it is. And as I say that, another ultimate. Oh, Pectus manages to fall off the map with that. Doesn't look like it does anything though. And in fact, on the flip side, CUNE is actually able to get a point there. 3 minutes left on the clock for CUNE. We can see as they capture that second point there, those doors are going to get shattered, and the next team fight happens right on the inside there. CUNE still staying incredibly close to the objective. They're not playing nearly as aggressive as we saw CUW use in their offense, which has given CUW, I think, a little bit of an advantage just because they've been able to stay a lot closer and a lot more grouped together. We'll see if that actually works in their hand, as Tywood tries to drop his ult, wasn't able to. Reactions drops his as well, having swapped over to Soldier 76. Gonna get the picks on Duckinator and So Fresh with that visor. Tywood gets a nice pick as well on Jamaro. And as they make that around that last corner here, we can see they've got just a little bit less time than CUW had on their push. The question is, will they be able to hold them back? They're starting to move in. CUW staying pretty close. Ludva gonna drop that ultimate. The tire ultimate. Gonna pick off a couple as well there. And Logan the Fry still managing to stay on there. Not gonna be quite enough, and it's gonna force CUNE to retreat. And CUW manages to get a couple of extra picks off along the way. Under 2 minutes left on the clock now. CUNE can still very easily get this. They will definitely have an advantage going into round 3 and 4 if they can secure this. But with that timer ticking down, they are incredibly close. They just have to be able to move in and get those packs used naturally and use them to get some good kills. We're gonna already see a couple of ultimates there. Skelly Wolf, Jams, and Echoes Bleach all having theirs. No ultimates on the CUW side, although Pectus is getting incredibly close to his, having switched now over to Sigma. CUW playing a very good job around that corner there. Not able to do a whole lot for CUNE to get extra picks. See that Rhine shield getting dropped down. Pectus getting picked a little bit lower, getting a little bit of extra charge there. Kaneem's sort of hiding behind there, waiting for the right moment to move. And as I say that Pectus ultimate's going to get dropped. You can already see that Babbitt lamp coming down just to help a little bit extra. Kaneem gets a nice pick on reactions. Tomorrow gets a nice book on Tywood, and they've got under 60 seconds left on the clock. If CUNE wants to get this, they're going to need to start moving. Logan the Fry gets a nice pick there on Tomorrow, having swapped over to Junkrat. And Logan the Fry gets picked off by Kaneem. CUNE, it's 3 of them left. They're still kind of working there. Got Jams manages to get a nice little pick there with with the drop of that Reinhardt ultimate. It's not going to be enough, though. Ooh, Kaneem barely makes it on. Manages to smack reactions off. And CUW is going to start moving up. They are taking as much space as possible. There's 30 seconds left on the clock. So if CUNE wants to get back in there and get that payload moving, they need to get in there and get in there quick. 20 seconds left on the clock now. We can hear that ultimate from Logan the Fry coming in, trying to get as many picks off on CUW as possible. Gets a couple there. Both of the supports on the CUW side. That's going to be incredibly useful. Pectus now getting boxed back. Gonna drop his ults. Not quite enough, though. You can also hear that Tomorrow Tire coming in there. Gets killed, though, by Reaction's Visor. And with overtime now hitting the clock, it's just up to CUNE to stay on that point and get it all the way. They're very close, but CUW's got the spawn advantage. They just need to get moving in there. A couple of picks coming in from Tomorrow, getting both Reactions and Echo's Bleach. Both of the tanks still on there, as well as Skelly Wolf there. Skelly's actually going to get a resin on Echoes. Still on there, though. Got Jams getting picked off. It's down to just the one tank and the 2 supports. How well can they stay on there? And will they be able to stay on that objective point longer for people to get off? Tywood manages to get a pick off, but Pectus and Jamaro are going to get those last 2 picks, and that's going to be round number 2, or that's going to be game number 2 to CUW. Some GG's going out in the chats here. We'll take a look and see what the play of the game was here.
Play of the game.
Gonna be from Logan the Fry as Junkrat. We'll see which this. That last final Riptide there. Coming in, getting a good number of picks there. Both Lubda and Duckinator getting picked off. We'll see if this has any other kills in it. The answer is yes, apparently. Alright, and we'll get ready now for our next 3rd round. Gibraltar, a full-on escort round.
Job well done.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back. We're getting into our 3rd and final round, Watchpoint Gibraltar. This one is going to be a full-on escort. So basically that second half of what we saw this last game at Eichenwald. It's going to be these teams fully escorting the point as far as possible. A couple of things that we'll definitely want to look out for this round. We've seen Jamaro getting a whole lot of mileage with his DPS, especially that Junkrat in the last game. We'll see if he pulls that back out and for this 3rd and final round. A couple of other things to keep an eye out for this one as well. Definitely seeing how differently CUW plays with their aggression. We've seen a lot of aggression from them in all of these games so far, both on the attacking side and the defending side. The question is how much of that will stick out. As the teams get themselves ready now and get those final picks there. On the CUW side, we can see Pectus coming back in as Diva, Jamaro coming in this time as Hanzo, Duckinator as Anna, Ludba, I will not be able to get this name right, I swear, as Mercy, Kaneem once again as Winston, and SoFresh as Farah. On the CUNE side, as they get themselves set up, Logan the Fry is going to be coming in as Sombra, Scully Wolf as Mercy, Got Jams as Diva, Echo's Bleach as it'll come to me. I'll come back to him. Tywood as Sigma, and Reactions as the man himself, Reaper. Both those tanks moving in, and Pectus quickly gets the first pick of the game, managing to knock off Logan the Fry. You can see that point being pushed very quickly, and as I say that, all of CUW moves off the point entirely. So it looks like this first match is going to be more of a fight between the two. You can see Kaneem dropping in as fast as possible. The tanks are doing a very interesting job of staying closer to their backline just to help in. This is giving the tanks on CUW's side a chance to just move forward and aggressively push these teams back. We've seen a lot of mileage coming in from Kaneem and Pectus with their picks as D.Va and as Winston, just because of that aggressive dive nature, using it to their advantage to just dive in and get those picks. And as I say that, we watch Kaneem get a pick off of Logan Fry. Tomorrow getting some decent snipes as Hanzo can pick off reactions. And remech there by Gotjams. Not going to be quite enough, but looks like CUW's pushed up most all the way. And they're going to move through that point, push CUNE as far back as possible. And that's going to be almost an entire team wipe right there, as CUW goes basically uncontested for that entire first point. 5 minutes and 10 seconds left on the clock now as they get ready on their second point. CUNE team having been pushed back to that second spawn. You can see those tanks looking on the CUW side, looking for the right time to move in. Nice arrow there by the Hanzo. We can already see CUW's got almost already has 5 ultimates all ready to be used. When you compare that to Concordia's or CUW or CUNE, and as I said, there's 1, 2, 3 ultimates there by the CUW team. And that's basically going to give them an entirely uncontested second point as well. Nice little high there from the Winston. 5 minutes and 54 seconds left on the clock as the CUW team continues to move forward. Dragons coming out from the Hanzo there. Let's get a nice pick off on both Logan the Fry and Echo's Bleach. Logan the Fry manages to get a single pick off on Pectus though. And already CUW moving aggressively forward on that point. They've already got the CUNE team pushed basically back to their spawn doors, which is giving CUW tons of open space to use and to their advantage. More ultimates coming out there. We can see Tomorrow dropping that. Dragons coming out from Logan the Fry though, not before, but unfortunately for him, he quickly gets picked off by Candy. More ultimates there on the CUW side. Kaiwood's gonna back himself out just to get a little bit of extra heals from that spawn advantage. Managed to get a rock, but CUW's got this in the bag from the looks of things, pushing that team back to their spawn doors, and they're gonna leave this entire point. Basically, this entire game has been them completely uncontested, and they're gonna seemingly stop it there and push it back in with 4 minutes and 49 seconds left on the clock. A nice 3-0. I don't know for sure if any of the CUNE ults were really able to get used. We saw a couple there from that window there being dropped at the very end by Echo's Bleach and Logan the Fry managing to get one as well. But from the looks of things, CUW was able to make a very clean sweep of this round, blazing forward, getting as much space as they could between CUNE and that payload, which basically left them the entire game, one person just sitting on that objective point and letting the thing move. In fact, I will not be surprised if at the end of the game we see a nice end card for one of those, for whoever it was that was staying on that point. I believe it was Duckinator. Yep, looks like it'll be Duckinator. As our teams get themselves ready for this potentially final round for tonight, we'll see Pectus once again as D.Va, Kaneem once again as Winston, Jamaro bringing back out the Hanzo, Duckinator once again as Ana, So Fresh one more time as Farah, and Ludba as Mercy. Nothing seemed to be going. None of those picks were bad ones for them on the subjective side. They have no reason to stick away and change to something else.
Winston.
As the CUNE team gets themselves ready, we see Skelly Wolf coming in as Ana, Gotjams 334 as D.Va, Tywood once again as Sigma, Echo's Bleach as Moira, Logan the Fry coming back in as Junkrat, and Reactions as the Echo. We'll get ourselves in this final round here. You can already see some of the CUW people moving up a little bit forward, playing a little bit closer. That shield by Tywood's going to go out, try to get a little bit of distance, get them onto that point, and CUNE's going to move on up. You can see the CUW team playing very closely to that first spot. They're looking for the right moment to drop in and just drop down. They are playing incredibly on that high ground, waiting for the right moment to move in and start diving. Logan the Fry is going to get the first pick of this round, picking up Tomorrow with some dynamite, but Mudblood comes in with a nice res there. Logan the Fry getting a second pick. Looks like he swapped over to Ash before the round start, and as a result, he's able to get a couple of good ones there. That's So Fresh. CUNE moving this point through pretty much unchallenged. Although you'll notice that unlike with CUW, once again, CUNE playing incredibly more close grouped up. They are letting CUW basically move on in and come and contest that. Already starting to get formed there. Not quite fully there. Duckinator getting pretty close to theirs. And this battle's going to be basically underneath that bridge. So Fresh gets a nice pick there off of the reactions. It's a nice little back and forth between. For CUNE, it's up to them to basically get themselves back up with that payload. And it looks like they're unfortunately going to lose that battle out. And as you can see, the CUW team moving up to take that high ground advantage. They want that, and they're definitely using it. And that, as we say that fight is going to rotate up to that top level. Already we can see we got 4.5 ults, almost 5 ults on the CUW team. Two, almost 3 on the CUNE team. Texas gets a nice pick off on reactions there. Showing up near the top. First ultimate going to be dropped on this round. That one on Phoenix going to come in. Another one coming in as well. Skelly going to drop their ultimate on both of those nanas coming out. Janeem, however, manages to get a few more picks, and it looks like it's going to be almost a complete team sweep. You can see Gotjam's trying to stay there as long as possible, but Gotjam's getting picked off there, and that's going to force CUNE to reset and back up. Just under 2 minutes left on the clock now. A lot of that progress that they made getting to that first choke point being undone almost entirely as CUW gets themselves reset for this next team fight, getting themselves pushed back up to the high ground.
Let me get you patched up.
And CUW still has 4 ultimates to their advantage. CUNE having some as well now. For getting closer to 5 there with reactions having a little bit more. But CUW definitely has the advantage on the ultimate side of things. And now that they have that high ground advantage, a couple of ultimates coming in there. Dragon and the Diva Bomb going to come in there. That's going to get 4 members of the CUNE team. 5 with Gotjams out of the way. And that is a complete team wipe for CUNE. CUW is going to get themselves reset one more time. We've seen that tanks getting them that top high ground spot there. They've been using that to their advantage, getting up there, letting CUNE walk underneath, and then just drop right on down. We can see the rest of the CUW team there. Just under a minute left to go. As that cart gets itself moved backwards, we're going to see the CUNE Diva Bomb come and get a couple of picks, getting both of the DPS on CUNE's side. Rez comes back in for So Fresh. Pectus gets a nice pick. Bob comes out on that side, and we got that Winston Monkey ultimate as well. So Fresh still has theirs. Both of the ultimates for CUW have both been picked off. Highwood reactions and Echo still have theirs. You can see a little bit more contesting going on there. Penny finally getting picked off. Pex is going to get a pick on Tywood here. 20 seconds left on the clock though. If CUNE wants to take this and get this game into a round 3 and 4, they're going to need to keep that payload moving and keep themselves from getting picked off as much as possible. Reaction's going to drop the ultimate. Unfortunately, it looks like it might have been for the wrong person though. That's just going to turn them into an Ana. And with 1 second left on the clock as this goes into overtime, CUW is going to move in. It's not quite on that first point yet. CUW already pushing CUNE back. There's still a little bit contesting as Skelly Wolf manages to get Rez. Echo's Bleach. She's going to stay on there. Tywood stays on the point there. And nobody gets, unfortunately, picked off. 2 more ultimates still there. They're still contesting, though. This is a close one. CUNE is doing a very good job of staying on that point. Another Dragon coming out. Doesn't look like it manages to get anybody, though. We're going to see that Diva Bomb get dropped. Gets a pick off on Kaneen. And the Remec gets a nice pick off there on Jamaro. Little sleep there. This fight is still going on, but it looks like CUNE finally gets that push through, and with 2.5 minutes left on the clock, they're going to get into that second objective point and get that first tick on the clock. Duckinator trying their best to get themselves backed up here. Tywood does manage to get a nice pick off on them. You can see now that CUNE is starting to move up a little bit more, trying to get a little bit more space, something that we haven't seen yet from them. You can see both of those tanks doing a nice job of moving up, starting to clear some space. The rest of the team sticking a little bit closer to that point though. CUW starts to move in, getting that next contesting team fight. You can see now Echo's Bleach is swapped over to Lucio. Looks like the CUNE team actually isn't on the point, they're staying still. You can see Kaneen dropping down below. Pectus is going to get a pick off on reactions. And CUW is going to start pushing the CUNE team back away from the payload. They've got a little bit more than a minute left on a half, and only halfway to go to get to that second objective point. To be fair, though, we did see some pretty good moves from them, from CUNE in this last round, though. And it looks like CUNE still has a little bit of footage in the game. Logan the Fry managing to get a nice pick off on Ludlow. Kenny gets a pick off on a reaction. We're going to see that Diva Bomb there. Gets the shield, but doesn't manage to get anybody on CUNE's team. A little over a minute left on the clock now. Logan the Fry going to try and move to get a little bit of higher ground advantage to start spamming some grenades down below. A little bit left, a little over a minute left on the clock.
60 seconds.
You can see some more ultimates getting formed on both team sides. Echo's Bleach dropping that window there. See if that helps out. Reactions uses it, might be using it to advantage. Gets picked off on Pectus. CUNE sticking close to that point. CUW though, still also staying very close to contesting it. Dragon gonna come out from Jamaro. Doesn't manage to do anything though. You can see that Immortality Field by the bat being dropped for Echo's Bleach, having looks like he's switched back over. Skelly's dropping that Valkyrie ultimate there. Kadeem gets a nice pick on Echoes, but not before Echo picks off Jamaro. Rez comes in, Duckinator gets picked off. You can see Logan the Fry's tire coming out. We'll see what it goes for. Looks like it's going to try and go after Kadeem, but it doesn't manage to quite do it. However, Ty Wood does a good job of finishing off that kill. And Reactions gets a pick off on Jamaro. 10 seconds left, a little under 10 seconds left on the clock. And a contest comes in here. 2 seconds left on the clock. It's going to be another overtime round as CUW comes in to start contesting again. They just have to keep these teams pushed off. And we'll see if it's enough. Logan the Fry gets picked off on So Fresh. You can see that bomb coming in. That's going to get a pick off on Mudba. Pectus still doing a good job there. Another Diva Bomb coming in here. We'll see if it gets everybody. That's going to T-Mech the Diva for Pectus. But they're still on there. And that gives CUNE another minute and a half left to go. See that Ananade coming in just to get a little bit of extra damage in. Duckinator's going to get themselves, try to back out or stall a little bit of time, but doesn't manage to do anything and gets themselves stalled out. You can see now that both of these teams starting to move up. You can see Ty Wood and Logan Fry trying to move up a little bit more, get a little bit more space contested. CUW, on the other hand, is holding very close to that corner, waiting for the right moment to move in and start their attacks. Pectus is going to start with a Diva Bomb. Doesn't look like it went quite as intended, and as a result, only manages to get a shield. Jamaro still has his ultimate. Echo's Bleach has that window as well. Those look like the only 2 ultimates we're going to see for a while, and I just realized now that Logan the Fry's almost got his almost completely figured out and ready. Both the teams backing up a little bit from that point there. Tywood manages to get a little bit of extra heal there. We can see that Ananate coming in, getting some more damage in there. Got Jams and Skelly Wolf, the only 2 back. That's going to be almost another full team wipe there. And with 20 seconds left on the clock, it's up to CUNE to see if they can manage to get themselves up and touch that point. Not a lot of time left for them to do that, though, and with Jamaro still having his dragon arrow, he's probably going to be able to use that to his advantage. Logan the Fry gets picked off. We're going to see that window. There's that dragon. That's going to get nobody. There's a window in the, there's an Immortality Field. Ludva dropping their ultimate as well. Pectus gets theirs. Reactions and Skelly still the only 2 people on the point. As I say that, Skelly on there. Logan the Fry moves up. Got Jam still up there just a little bit, and as I said that, they get picked off. We're going to hear another ultimate being dropped, that Soldier ult, just to make sure that CUNE stays on. But they're still in there. And with those last 2 healers getting picked off, it's going to be game number 3 going to CUW, and that is going to be the game for tonight. However, stick around because we still have another game left to go. That'll be starting up here a little bit later tonight. We'll take a look at Jamaro's play of the game here for this last round. That's going to be that Dragons from that first round there. Managing to get 3 picks right there. Very good play by that Hanzo ultimate there. Alrighty, and our next match will actually be starting in about 15 minutes when we'll be playing against GW Vikings, so stick around.
Epic.
It's nice to be appreciated.
confusion, and sometimes it's hard to see. Living out confusion. We can make a way when we move in this fusion. Lines can't stay away. Living out confusion. We can make a way when we move in this fusion. Lines can't stay away. Lines can't stay away. When we move in this fusion, lines can't stay away. Lines can't stay away. We can make a way. Driving through California. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause we got a strange kind of fusion. We got a world to see. Living out confusion. We can make a way when we move in this fusion. Lines can't stay away. Living out confusion. We can make a way when we move in this fusion. Lines can't stay away. Lines can't stay away. When we move in this fusion, lines can't stay away. Lines can't stay away. Lines can't stay away.
Can you hear it? The end was gone. They can't see you. I need thank you for all. Can you hear it? The end was gone. They can't see you. I need thank you for all. Can you hear it? The end was gone. They can't see you. I need thank you for all. Can you hear it? The end was gone. They can't see you. I need thank you. Can you hear it? The end was gone. Can you hear it? was gone. They can't see you. I need thank you for all.
ask me what's going on inside my head, I say nothing at all, I just need some rest. Cause conversations never help, so I'll keep them to myself. Cause what's going on is better left unsaid. Cause my heart hurts, you know I didn't mean to, but a broken heart is so contagious. And my mind can't keep dragging yours so deep into every fracture between us. You should run for cover, but you never leave my side. Always there to comfort, and it tears you up inside. But my heart hurts you, what the hell did I do? Cause a broken heart is so contagious.
air is thinner as we climb. We've only got one destination. Touch the clouds and gravity's edge, and the rest is our momentum. Does it matter if I can't breathe out there? I've got memories of where we began, and you would follow my silhouette that grows bigger towards the sun. I can see your darkened eyes, and you are still hiding your smile. Take my dismay, throw it away. When you reach me, help find a way. Look out for slopes down the devil's goal. And when you reach me, I'll let you stay. How many times do we have to write our names in the sand so they don't wash away? How many times do we leave our mark? I've been worried if you'll be okay. I can travel the world in an instant, even though there's a fear of the distance. But for you, I know I'll stay right here. And I can see your darkened eyes, and you are still hiding your smile. Take my dismay, throw it away. When you reach me, help find a way. Look out for slopes down the devil's goal. And when you reach me, I'll let you stay. I don't want to miss you when you're sailing by. Please tell me you're on the way. I don't want to miss you once I've waved goodbye. So when you reach me, tell me you'll stay.
Now arriving at Lijiang Tower.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another game. Tonight, it is round number 2 for Overwatch tonight of the games, and our second round. For today's game, or for the second game tonight, I should say, we are going to be playing against the GV Vikings. Welcome back, I'm Nathan. I will be your caster for tonight. Unfortunately for this round, we will not be doing full free cam. It's going to be the same maps as before, as teams get themselves set up here. This will be back for another set for Lijiang. Get a moment to get this music pause. Pause back here. And in the meantime, all that. Welcome back. There we go. Now that that's fixed there. We'll see what we got for our team comp tonight. We got Jam 64 as Diva, Tywood coming in as Sigma, Skelly Wolf as Mercy, Echoes Bleach as the Great Feta, whose name escapes me up. Baptiste, Reactions 103 as Farah, and Logan the Fry as Tracer. And Logan the Fry is going to get the first pick off of the night, getting Dex there. You can already see the other team starting to move. The Vikings move in and start capturing that point. But you can see Logan the Fry and Reaction's staying pretty close. They're doing a good job there. Logan the Fry and Reaction's getting a few more picks. Echo's Bleach getting a pick off there on Strike. And that's going to basically switch this over so that the first capture point goes to Concordia. That's going to basically push the Vikings back into their spawn there. And you can already start to see that team getting themselves set up. On the Viking side, we've got Jerry Man as McCree, Soren as Anna, Shrike as Reinhardt, Dracolors as Sigma, Dean of Mean as Soldier 76, and Dex99 as Lucio. Vikings are starting to go around now to that right side there. This is going to be the first of the 3 capture points. It's going to be basically a capture to hold that center as long as possible. Jerry Man gets a pick off on Logan Fry there as the Vikings start to move in and contest that point, getting into a little bit more of a brawl. Well, there is a bit of a numbers advantage there. We can already see some ultimates coming up. Both Echo's Bleach and Logan Fry got theirs, but they're going to get themselves pushed back out. Ultimate getting dropped there for the Vikings. That Anna, combined with that Rhine Shatter, going to get a couple of picks. Strike and Jerry Man get a couple of picks, and Dean of Mean manages to do some damage and get that D-Mag happening. Reactions drops there, Barrage, and gets both of the supports picked off for the Vikings, but not before Jerry Man. Not until after Jerry Man can get a quick pick off as well. You can see some more ults there. Tywood dropping his now. Get over to it. Unfortunately, though, Dean of Mean does get him picked off and gets another pick off on Gotjam. Logan the Fry is going to get a pick there with the bomb. Echoes gets a pick on Jerry Man as well, and Skelly Wolf is going to come in with the res. And that fight goes back in. Looks like it's just going to be Dex in there as the Lucio. Trying to stall this out and get a little bit more capture there. But CUNE gets him picked off, and the flip is going to happen with Vikings taking 42% of the capture. As the Vikings get themselves set up, they're going to start going around to that right side there. You can already see that Jerry Man and Dracolors are moving over. And with Gotjams and Tywood moving over to start taking over that space to get themselves ready for that tank spot there. You can see some ultimates getting formed up. Skelly and Echoes have theirs, and as I say that, Echoes is going to drop that window there right in that spot. Just get a little bit of extra damage. So it's not going to be done too much though. And the self-destruct coming in from the Diva. Not going to do anything. See, Jerry Man gets a pick off on the reactions, but Tywood manages to stick in there. Res coming in there from Skelly Wolf. And despite the fact that the Vikings pushed all the way through, they're not actually going to capture the point. So they're going to basically surge through it there. And that's going to give CUNE a bit more ticks on the time. And as a result, you can see we've gotten over the 83% mark. And the clock and the point still goes to Concordia, Nebraska. Sleep there on reactions. Not going to be quite enough though. And reactions actually gets a pick off on Soren. We're still at that 94% there. Somebody's in there, but CUW does get some final picks, and that's going to flip the point back over, giving CUNE a chance to reset.
Get through this.
As we take a quick glance at our teams here, you can already see that Reactions has his ultimate there, that Farah Barrage. We've already seen it used once, getting a couple of decent picks. Logan the Fry and Tywood also very close to having theirs. And as CUNE gets themselves reset and starts moving through, they're going to go through that right side there, that smaller corridor. It's a little bit less open. And with Dex there as that Lucio, those boops, if you're coming in from that wide side, can do a lot of damage. Reaction gets the first pick there in this next team fight, getting a pick off on Dex. Logan the Fry gets picked off on Strike. We're going to hear Logan dropping that tactical visor now. See, with a little bit of help there from Skelly, just doing some damage boosting. They're going to get the switch happen there. One on the point there for the Vikings, 2 on the point there, and you can hear that drop there of the Lucio. Drop there. Another quick drop there. Tywood's going to drop that ultimate as well. Get a few more picks. We're going to see both of those Sigmas, Farah Colors, coming in with theirs as well. Still in overtime though. 2 people left on that point there. You can hear another ultimate coming in there. Dean of Mean getting some damage as well. But the Vikings managed to push CUNE back off. Skelly going to be the last person on that team to get picked. That's going to be a team kill though. And that'll basically force Concordia to reset. CUNE is going to get themselves start moving in and get that last final touch. They've got about 3% to touch before they can do that. And as I say that, Gotjam's going to drop in onto that point. No ultimates really for the Concordia Nebraska side. And they're barely going to get themselves on that point and keep themselves in there. You can see Skelly coming in with the res. And that's going to give those Skelly and Echoes are going to start moving on to that point. You can see Skelly flying around up above with Echoes blasting themselves around, holding in. That's going to give the rest of the team enough time to move in. Reactions gets on the point, but gets picked up. Echoes Bleach still staying in there, doing a decent job of dodging every single projectile. And as I say that, Got Jams moves in to keep this going. Jams is going to get themselves DMAX here pretty quickly. And unfortunately for them, though, even though that Diva Bomb was able to get a couple of picks, the first round is going to go to the Vikings.
Score 0-1.
And as we get ready for the next round here, that's going to be the Lijiang Night Market.
There is no obligation.
See a couple of switch coming in here. Logan the Fry is going to switch off to Symmetra. Reactions is going to switch himself over to Genji. We haven't seen a Genji yet tonight from Concordia, Nebraska. We'll see how that does. Team's just kind of kicking around waiting for that next round to start. We'll see what swaps we get on the Vikings side once we get out there and the round starts going.
2, 1. Round.
And off they go here. We're going to take a look here at
You should be at peak performance level.
Logan the Fry here. We'll see that Symmetra turret get deployed very quickly. And they're going to drop that and move right on in. We can see soon Symmetra turrets to be precise. In fact, it looks like the Vikings team have already got in there as well. And they've already got some quick things down there as well. Echoes Bleach staying up there on that wall there. And unfortunately for the CONE team, they're going to get picked off very quickly as that Dino means teleport seemed to get up there pretty quickly, and those turrets managed to help finish the job.
What's that equation again?
Dino being the only real switch that we're seeing for the Vikings team. Jerry Man's staying with Tracer, though. I believe that was the other one. The DPS on both sides seem to have switched. Reactions, and as I speak of switches, Reactions now has swapped themselves over to McCree. A little bit of stuns, get some more advantages there. Another turret's going to come in. Another teleporter setup. That's going to drop CONE and basically almost entirely flip the point and bring this fight right to the Vikings' objective.
Let's get you back out there. Reality bends.
Only one person left on the point for the Vikings. Both of those Symmetra walls, Symmetra's bolts are going to drop. And with 31% captured for the Vikings, the CONE team is going to get the flip. Logan the Fry getting a nice little pick there off of Soren.
System optimized.
As the team gets themselves reset here. See Echoes Bleach scouting ahead a little bit. Probably going to be seeing another one of those teleporters coming up. Got Jams getting a quick remech there, having been demech during that last fight. And speaking of teleporters, you can see that the Symmetra teleporter is already gone. Tracer going to drop around from behind, drop that Tracer bomb. Doesn't do anything though. Strike is going to get a quick power up there. We're probably going to be seeing a Shatter there. And there's 2 ultimates dropped there. 3 ultimates. We're going to see both the Sigma and the ultimate for drop there. Still a fight going on point there. You can see we're going to see the Sigma ultimate there being dropped by Taiwo, getting a nice pick there off of Shrike. And Logan the Fry finishes up that and takes Soren out as well. And as CONE picks themselves over the 50% capture rate, that's going to force the Vikings to reset, regroup, and give CONE a bit more of a chance to get themselves ready for this next team fight. Logan the Fry getting a few of those turrets set up and getting a little bit of preliminary firing in here. We take a quick glance at our ultimates. You can see that Echoes Bleach still got his window. Aside from that, though, not a whole lot minus the Diva Bomb, which is coming. It's not here yet, but it is starting to get there. Vikings are going to start moving in there. You can see that shield for the Reinhardt already starting to break, getting a little bit lower. And there goes that window there. That's going to, the amplification matrix there from Baptiste, going to use that. See, the Vikings are trying to get a little bit of natural cover there from those walls. Strike gets a quick pick off of Logan Fry. Mortality field coming down from the back, and a quick loose field coming down as well. Remech there. We're now into overtime. The Vikings still capturing and moving in. Another Shatter going to come in there. But this is still technically being held by Concordia, Nebraska. And as I say that, a quick team kill from the Vikings is going to flip that over to their side. A lot of disadvantage though on the time, and as CONE gets themselves regrouped, they've got a decent amount of time to get themselves set up and ready for this next push. Reactions now switching over to Echo.
Let's get you back out there.
Activating the barrier.
See here, taking a quick glance at
Enemies now
ultimates. Tywood almost has his fully ready. Same with Logan the Fry. A couple of turrets being dropped there by Dean of Mean, but those are going to get picked off rather quickly. And CUNE is going to just basically move in through that front entrance.
Executing flight maneuvers.
We can see here that McCree ult's going off there. Not going to get any major fixes. We're going to see that ultimate there by the Sigma as well. Strike's trying to dive through and get a couple of picks from it, but it doesn't seem to actually work, and they unintentionally miss. We can hear Logan the Fry's ultimate getting dropped there, and Skelly Wolf gets a nice quick res on Mercy. Taker's still ticking though. You can see here that as Tywood starts to move into contest, just over 80%, almost 90% left on that capture for the Vikings. If CUNE wants to start moving to contest, they're going to need to start moving it quick. And as I say that, Jams is going to move in, start contesting as best as possible, joined by, let's see who's out there. Nobody now. They just got picked off. And as I flip over to Skella, she's going to move in here. We can see just still moving in, and Echo's Bleach Advantage just come in. Gonna try and dive around as best as possible. Unfortunately, gets picked off pretty quickly though. And with that McCree ult by Jerryman coming in to finish things off, looks like this first match is going to go to the Vikings. We'll take a quick pause here to see what the play of the game is going to be. I take it back. We are not going to see what the play of the game is going to be. And as the Vikings are the hosting team, they're going to be getting us over to our next map, which means that Concordia, Nebraska is going to be attacking for this first round. It's going to be a hybrid once again at Eichenwald. So that same concept as if you were watching before from the with the match between CUNE and CUW. It's going to be a hybrid map where the attacking team must first capture the objective, and then once that objective is fully captured, it becomes a payload which must be sent and escorted down a certain path. And as the teams get themselves ready here, we'll take a short pause, and we'll be back once this match starts going at Eichenwald. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to game number 2 at Eichenwald here. I'm going to take a small moment here to just adjust the music slightly. anybody asks, that didn't happen. Now, a quick thing you might not have noticed if you were paying attention, you might have noticed. If you weren't noticing it, from the looks of things, the teams have actually switched sides. So for this round, Concordia, Nebraska is actually going to be defending this first round as opposed to attacking. Same objectives though for the Vikings. They want to capture that point and escort it then all the way. And as our teams get themselves ready, we'll take a quick look at what Concordia, Nebraska is bringing to this comp. You can see Got Jams coming back in as Diva, Tywood one more time as Sigma, Skelly again as Mercy, Echoes Bleach as Baptiste, Reactions as Echo, and Logan the Fry as Junkrat. And as the Concordia, Nebraska team gets themselves set up here for this next round,
Who's counting?
we'll watch them all get themselves in position here.
I hate to break this to everyone, but
A little bit of target practice going on there between Skelly and Reactions, but I'm not going to question it too much. You can see Echoes Bleach setting up there on top on the bridge there, and then of course the two tanks are right underneath. Junkrat Trap coming in as well from Logan, and the teams begin for round number 2. You can see that Sigma shield already coming out, and once again, Vikings going with that double shield technique, also bringing in a Mei for this round here. As the teams start to rotate, Vikings are pushed immediately onto that point and start aggressively shoving Concordia, Nebraska off there, moving very quickly in here. Quick glance here as the teams capture this point here. This is going to go incredibly fast, and I believe that is very close to a full life there. We've got Jerryman as Mei, Soren as Baptiste, Shrike as Reinhardt, Dracolors as Sigma, Dean of Mean as Sword 76, and Dex99 once again as Lucio. And that was a very fast capture by the Vikings here. They've got a little under 5 minutes and 45 seconds there. Skelly gonna get a quick res there on Echo's Bleach. You can see up on top, Reactions trying to get a little bit extra damage in there. Logan the Fry coming in as well, trying to get some pops from the top, get some little pop shots there. Down below. Take a quick glance down at the tanks here. We can see that payload starting around this first corner here, and that Mei wall coming up, as well as the Blizzard and the window there. Skelly gonna drop their ult in response, but this is gonna be almost a full team wipe here for Concordia. Just down to those last 2 supports coming in there. Just down to that last 1 support. Skelly Wolf's gonna be forced to back off just to rejoin the rest of her team. As the team here gets themselves regrouped and ready. You can see Tywood and Echoes Bleach already having their ults fully formed. And it looks like Got Jams is going to swap over to Reinhardt. We're going to see a little bit of a mirror on those 2 tanks there. Dean of Mean manages to get a pick on Tywood right in the middle of that ultimate. And another ultimate going to get dropped there. 2 ultimates in fact. We're going to see that Soldier ult there, as well as a few others. Pop there. The Echo ult as well. Put back over here too.
Let's see if you can get past this.
And very impressive job here by Concordia, managing to keep this point from make it to the second point with 0.01 left to go. That's a very good hold by Concordia and a very good job here. As Reaction moves in, gets a nice little pick there on Dean of Me. Backs himself back off. We'll see that Jerryman and Soren are going to get themselves backed up just to regroup with the rest of their team. Jerryman manages to get a quick pick there off of Logan the Fry, not giving up too much, and Jerryman gets picked off. Skelly gets a nice res there on Logan. And we can see those tanks starting to move back in. Strike gets themselves almost completely picked up there, just barely manages to stick alive. Logan the Fry getting that tire ready there, doing a little bit of damage and manages to pick off Dean of Me. And as the 2 teams start to recontest there, Strike gets picked off there. Reaction's going to get a pick off under colors. And Logan the Fry grabbing that tire. Doesn't look like it's going to do too much though, as the rest of the team is pretty much fully wiped. And that's going to cause the Vikings to have to back up and reset with 3 minutes and 10 seconds left on the clock. You can see now, if we take a glance up here, you can see Logan Fry getting up there on the top level, getting damage boosted. Both of the support ults there from Skelly and Echoes Bleach, got those ready to go. We haven't seen that back window get much use. That Echoes has been holding on to that for a while now. You can see those shields already coming through here, and it looks like the entire Viking team is going to start moving in there. beat and a blizzard being dropped by them, as well as a shatter, but that's not going to do anything, and a window as well. That's almost 3 full ultimates right there. And in response, you're going to see that we've got an ultimate coming out from Tristan from reactions there. It's going to mirror off that Reinhardt there. Still a couple on the point there. Still being contested. The question is, will it be enough though? And it looks like those two are going to actually manage to get that second point. But they did manage to do a good job of stalling out some time. You can see now that we're down to 3 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock of this final point. And as our two tanks get themselves set up, you can see the rest of the Concordia Nebraska team coming in to help out and get them ready for this next team fight. That window still being controlled there by Echo's Bleak. And that Immortality Field being dropped down as well to help protect against that Sigma ult there. Dean of Mean dropping his, as well as the Blizzard getting a couple of picks as well. And that's going to very quickly push the Concordia Nebraska team back. And with 2 minutes and 54 seconds left on the clock, not enough of a chance for this UNE team to get that point contested at all. And so we'll go into 3-0 for this first round with 2 minutes and 54 seconds left on the clock. And as the teams get themselves ready for these switched positions, one thing you'll notice that while we couldn't see it all just because of what we're spectating for this match, you'll notice that the Vikings did a very interesting job of when one person had an ult, they all got dropped very quickly. We're seeing a quick pause here from the Concordia Nebraska side here. They're going to try and see, there's that pause. We'll see what's going on here. Let's take a temporary pause. All right, looks like there were some small technical PC issues on the Concordia Nebraska side. They're currently in the process of getting that fixed right now. And while they get themselves set up here for this next round, a couple of things to note. Like I said before, a big thing that we saw from this last round from the Vikings is that when they would take a lot of those ultimates, bundle them all up together, and send it into one nice little package of chaos to the Concordia Nebraska side. We saw that a lot, especially in that last point, that May ult, that Soldier ult, and I believe there was another one that all got dropped basically all at the same time, giving the team a virtually uncontested third run to that point. And it looks like our timer is now clear. The game's looks like our PC issues have gotten fixed. And Concordia Nebraska this time is going to be on the offensive side. As the teams get themselves set up here, unfortunately we don't get a chance to see what the Vikings will be playing for their defense, just because we are on this one side. But for the Concordia side, got Jams one more time coming in there as Diva, Tywood once again as Sigma, Echoes Bleach as Baptiste, Reactions as Soldier 76. We'll wait to see what Logan the Fry and Skelly Wolf decide to do for this next defensive round. Skelly Wolf gonna come in with Zenyatta. Haven't seen Zenyatta yet today, but we'll see how that goes for him. And then Logan the Fry coming in as Junkrat. And as this next round goes, we'll see Tywood and Gotjams coming out and leading the charge. Tywood moving very quickly up to that choke point, doing their best to get as much of those projectiles as possible. We take a quick glance here at the two teams for the Vikings. We've got Jerryman once again as May, Soren once again as Baptiste, Strike as Reinhardt again, Direct Colors as Sigma again, Dean of Mean as Soldier 76, and Dex one more time as Lucio. A lot of very similar picks this time around. Not a lot changing. It seems to have been working very well for him so far. Jerryman's going to get the first, looks like we're going to get to see those first few picks coming through. Direct Colors, Jerryman getting a couple of picks. But it looks like for the most part, the CUNE team has basically gotten this point they've got that choke pretty much covered. Logan the Fry just getting picked off there by Dean of Mean. Shrike getting a pick off there on reactions. The tank's still there though. Echo's Bleach still staying in there. Skelly Wolf now having swapped over to Ana, and Gotjams having swapped over to Rhine. That double shield seems to be the better preference for Nebraska at this point. Our two quick focus here on our two supports there. Let's already see some ultimate starting to get full. Tywood gets almost has his, but Colors is going to get theirs first, and it's going to get a pick there. Get a pick by reactions. See up there on the top. Logan the Fry is going to start moving in here, trying to take out a little bit on that tank. But the CUNE team is still making progress. They're slowly making their way through there. We can already see Tywood and Echo's Bleach having their ultimates fully formed and ready to go. And as I say that, another window coming out from Soren. Logan the Fry is going to get him picked off. Team picking off Logan the Fry in the meantime. And unfortunately for the CUNE team, they're still kind of stuck in that choke point. And we got a little bit under 2 minutes left to go, so Concordia definitely does have a bit of a disadvantage at time. We saw in that last round with the offense that see that ultimate being dropped there by Tywood. A couple more ults coming in here. Shrike gets a nice shatter, picking off both the supports. Dex and D Devine also dropping their ultimates. We heard those coming out. Gotjams gonna get some pick off of her colors. Gonna try their best to get out, but unfortunately they're slightly surrounded by a decent number of people, and that's going to be a full team reset. You can see here we've got 5 of 6 ults. Tywood having swapped over to Winston now.
You're going to be okay.
And with 1 minute and 13 seconds left on the clock, as I said, that Tywood's gonna swap over to Zarya. We'll see what that'll do for him. Haven't really seen a lot of ultimates being dropped by the Concordia Nebraska side so far. And since there's only 1 minute left on the clock, if they want to start making some good plays, they're going to need to start using those. That Maywall coming up, basically shielding off Tywood from the rest of the team. Logan the Fry going to drop that Riptire, gets a pick off on Gotjams, and they're going to capitalize on that and start moving through. That's going to be ultimate number 1. We're going to see reactions getting that, both the power-up and the visor, getting 2 picks off there, getting for colors and Dex. D Devine still staying up there. Jerryman comes out with the Blizzard, manages to get a single headshot there. Echo's Bleach almost gets picked off, but manages to stay on there. And with 3 ults, I believe, dropped there. That's going to be the point to Concordia, Nebraska with 2 minutes and 45, a little over 2 minutes and 50 seconds left on that clock. Took a quick glance over, see what our 2 DPS are doing. Look at the front, giving the healing need there. Reactions trying to get a little bit of an advantage, trying to push the Vikings back a little bit here. As we get ourselves into that next round, we're going to see that ultimate being dropped by we're going to see that the colors ultimate being dropped. May gets a pick off on Jams. And as a result, Concordia Nebraska is going to start backing up off of that point. 2 minutes and 15 seconds left on the clock there. Jerryman gets another pick there, knocking out Logan the Fry as well.
Our duty is to move the payload. Get to it.
You can sort of see here. Still haven't seen that window yet from Echoes. I'm still waiting for that to be dropped at some point. We'll see if it actually does. Ryan Shield being basically taken down entirely by Gotjams. And that ultimate is going to be dropped by reactions. Doesn't quite do the trick though. A little bit of a challenge to manage to make that work when you've got 2 shields on the opposing team. Logan the Fry manages to get a couple of good picks as well with that Riptire though. And Echo's Bleach picks off Shrike, and that's going to give Concordia Nebraska team a chance to start moving up. Jerryman gets a pick off on Logan the Fry. You can see Jerryman back there trying to stay a little bit further back, regroup with his teammate.
I will keep you here.
And as our team starts around the corner, with 1 minute and 20 seconds left to go on the clock, still a pretty decent group of people here. You can see we got 2 tanks, a DPS, and a support. A shield coming around from behind, but that's not going to work. Saw that. We're going to see a May Blizzard though. That's going to take a lot of people out. That's going to be basically the entire Concordia team that was on that payload. Skelly Wolf trying to back out now as fast as they possibly can. Logan the Fry as well getting backed out. And with under 60 seconds left on the clock, they're going to have to wait for the rest of the team to show up and regroup.
We need to keep the payload moving.
You can see Logan the Fry sneaking around, trying to get a couple of picks. Dean of Mean going to get a pick off there on Anna. Reaction's starting to run around, try and get a flank on some of these folks. You can see he's got his ultimate almost fully formed there. And trying to get a little extra damage in there will definitely help him in the time. Dina Mean gets a pick off on Echo's Bleach. Reaction's starting to move up. And 30 seconds left on the clock.
Rendezvous at my position.
Just back over to our tanks here. See a little bit what's going on. Taking themselves a bit closer in. 4 ultimates for the Concordia Nebraska side. We've got Tywood, Scrab. Skelly gets a sleep. Logan the Fry is going to pick on Jerry, man. Logan the Fry getting another pick as
You're powered up. Get in there.
and we're going to see that. That's going to be the bring this round into overtime. Concordia Nebraska team basically staying on there. They're starting to move up just to secure a little bit more distance between them and the Vikings. And with overtime coming into play, Logan the Fry gets a couple of picks on both of those DPS. That's going to be a huge advantage going into this next team fight. Concordia Nebraska definitely has the disadvantage when it comes to time. You can see they've got just under a minute and a half to make this entire next push here, as opposed to the Vikings push of over 2 minutes. But that doesn't necessarily mean they have a loss here. You can already see the tanks on Concordia's side doing a very good job of moving up. Reactions and Tywood still have their ult. That ultimate gonna get dropped there by Storm. Gets a pick off there. 60 seconds left on the clock. Reactions gets a pick off on Storm. You can hear that ultimate being dropped by the Lucio, the beat. Unity manages to get a nice little punch there to finish off Reactions. And the Concordia Nebraska is gonna back off slightly as they get themselves ready for this next push. They got 40 seconds left on the clock to go. If they want to start moving, they're going to need to start making some big plays here soon. We can see Logan the Fry now has his ultimate fully formed. We might see that get dropped here very quickly. No real swaps on this team for the Vikings yet, but the Concordia Nebraska team has moved up onto that point and are going to get pushed forward. That Riptire coming in with Logan the Fry. That's going to get a pick off under colors, and Shrike is also going to get picked off here. Quick Maywall, but that doesn't quite do much because the payload itself will take that entirely out. You can see that Lucio bopping around on the payload, trying to stall this clock out as much as possible. Doing a very good job of staying on that as well. That goes the picks there. Blizzard's coming in. And with a quick flip over from Dracolor, swapping over to the ball there, that's going to be enough to get this team killed, and the Vikings are going to take this in game number 2, 3-2. We'll see if we take a look at the quick play of the game. We won't get a look at the play of the game. And now we'll get ready for our third and final round for this game tonight, which is going to be another escort at Gibraltar. Alright, ladies and gentlemen,
Arriving at
welcome
Watch
back
Point
to our third and final round. This is going to be a full escort match here at Watch Point Gibraltar. These are the same maps as we saw last game because it is the activation. These matches are determined to help place our teams in for this full season. As teams get themselves set up, we'll be seeing Concordia, Nebraska one more time on the defense for starting off with the Vikings coming in on the offensive side. As we get a look here at this lovely spaceship. Nice big old rocket here. We'll get the countdown started as the teams pick their characters, and we'll see what our teams have for this round. On the defensive side, we've got Jams as Reinhardt, Tywood coming in as Zarya, Skelly Wolf coming in as Anna, Echoes Bleach as Baptiste, Reactions as Echo, and Logan the Fry coming in as Junkratz.
Yo, I admire the way you deal with those bots. Wanna team up?
Not if you were the last human on Earth.
And as Concordia gets themselves set up here, we can see that a lot of them are taking this more higher ground there. We can see Echoes Bleach kind of getting themselves stationed up a little bit higher, getting a nice vantage of what the opposing team has. And as our clock counts down and we get ready for this last game of the activation night.
Attackers incoming.
We'll see. Here we've got what looks like a Genji there on the attacking team here. And this first round, you can see that first push coming in there. Reinhardt and Sigma once again coming into play. Let's take a quick glance here. Jerry Man coming in this time as Widowmaker. Logan the Fry picking off the first pick of the game. Soren as Anna. Shrike and Direct Colors once again coming in as Reinhardt and Sigma, respectively. Dean of Mean coming back in as Soldier 76 and Dex 99 again as Lucio. As I say that, Dex gets another pick off on reactions here. And you can see here that payload's basically been pushed pretty far underneath, being escorted by the tanks and by Reinhardt and Dex and Dean of Mean. A little bit of contesting going on there. You can see up on that high ground though, that Widowmaker and that Sigma up top helping to add a little bit of pressure there. And as our two tanks move in there, got Jam starting to get a little bit low, and as I said, that gets picked off. Tywood getting antsy there, and it's going to get pushed back and picked off. And that's going to cause the rest of the Concordia Nebraska team to get themselves pushed back as the objective gets reset. Echoes managed to get a pick off on Shrike and immediately gets picked off as well. Bit of a trade there, and Skelly gets picked off as well. Reaction's going to start backing themselves up there. Logan the Fry having swapped over now to Sombra. We're going to see how that comes into play. A little bit of hacks just to come and get their team a bit of an advantage. Sort of playing aggressive in that backline and giving the team some tickles, if that makes any sense. Do some hacks, get some well-played ones. As I say that, Reaction swapping off as well to Genji. Take a look back down here. We can see that we got that BAP window coming up and Skelly's Nano coming in as well. Shrike getting a quick boost, getting two there. Managing to pick up both Skelly and Got Jams. And Echoes Bleach with a few swings. Reactions coming in, knocking out Jerry Man. Shrike picking off Tywood though. And it looks like that's going to be most of the Concordia team pretty well picked off.
I'm out of here.
See Logan the Fry sort of sneaking around there. Going to try to play a bit on that background line. But the Vikings are going to get that second point captured with 5 minutes and almost 50 seconds left on the clock. Ultimate being dropped by Colors there. Not going to do too much. Isn't able to find any good places to use it. Soren gets a pick off there on reactions. And we glance down, look at the teams. You can see them getting, a good attempt at a shatter, but unfortunately just barely getting canceled by Dean of Mean. Their Colors picking off Tywood, and that's going to be both the tanks for Concordia, Nebraska out, and gives the Vikings a chance to advance a little bit forward. You can see the two DPS there. Logan the Fry having swapped over now to Hanzo. Give a little bit of a sniper advantage on this third and final point. Got Colors moving up as well as Dean O'Mean. And as I say that, Dean O'Mean's going to get nanoed there. Get a little bit of visors going out from there. Gets a couple of picks with that. 3 picks to be precise. And with basically 4 minutes left on the clock, that's going to be uncontested with 4 minutes and 54 seconds left on the clock for a 3-0 contest.
Fire at will.
And as we get ourselves into the next round here, as the teams get themselves switched. Take a little look here at the spawn room because we can't really see much else in the meantime. Big thing to keep in mind here for this next point. We saw a lot of good things coming from that, from Dean of Mean and Dex. Dean of Mean getting a lot of mileage out of that Soldier 76, and then that double shield between Soren and Shrike getting a decent amount of mileage as well. We'll see what Concordia can do to counter those as well. And as the teams get themselves ready here, you can sort of see them starting to group up there at the bottom. We've got once more Got Jams as Reinhardt and Tywood won again as Zarya. Echoes Bleach coming in as Baptiste. Logan the Fry coming in as Junkrat. Still waiting for Skelly and Reactions to get their picks for the next round.
Finally, I have beaten the champion at arm wrestling.
We'll take a glance here through the window, see what we can see outside. A very nice place to see and wait, just to get a better idea of what your opposition is looking like, because while you can see them, they can't see you. But from the looks of things, not going to get a lot of information. We see now that Reactions has picked McCree and Skelly has come in with Ana. And this final, potentially final round for today is going to come into play as our two teams get themselves brought down. Not a lot of signs of what the other team has. And as I say that, we start to see a couple of Telltale shields, a Orion and a Sigma shield to be precise. And a quick glance at the roster. Jerryman coming in as Sombra, Soren as Ana, Shrike as Reinhardt, Dracolors as Sigma, Dean of Mean once again as Soldier 76. Getting the first pick of this round, picking off Reactions, and Dex once again as well. Jerryman, you can sort of see him sneaking around in the back, picking off Echo's Bleach, but Got Jams and Tywood just gonna basically walk that payload underneath that choke point there. And as the two other tanks start to move in and contest, with the rest of the team following in behind, that's gonna pick off Tywood and Got Jams. Strike getting a good couple of picks there. Ana manages to get a nice sleep. Isn't able to follow it up well with the nade though. We'll take a quick glance over here. You can see Logan Fry trying to move around, get a little bit of damage to the side over on trying, although Dean of Mean is going to do a very quick job of picking them off. Now in terms of the ultimate side of things, Skelly Wolf very close to getting theirs. Not sure what we're looking like. I wouldn't be surprised if Shrike's already got an ultimate ready there. Quick Rhine Shatter. A quick hack coming in from the Sombra back in the back there. That Sombra going to be very annoying at picking off that back line. And as we see that Sombra warps away. Ultimate coming out already from Dracolors, but it's not going to be quite enough. A quick rock though to finish off Logan the Fry, and Jerryman gets a pick off on Tywood. And with 2 minutes and 15 seconds left on the clock, doesn't look like Concordia is going to be able to do anything. Is able to make much progress. And in fact, it looks like they're starting to retreat basically back to those spawn doors. You can see both of those support ults fully formed and ready to go. And as Concordia Nebraska starts to make their next team push there, you can see that Soldier and Ana up there at the top getting a little bit that higher vantage point can be incredibly helpful for Dean of Mean, especially if he's got that ultimate sort of ready to go. Jerryman gets a quick pick off on Logan Fry, who has now switched over to Ash.
You'll be fine.
And there's that Rhine Shatter coming in from Shrike. Isn't necessarily needed though, and Shrike gets a quick sweep off on Tywood, and that's going to be basically a team forced reset with 1 minute and 25 seconds left on the clock. We can see 3 ultimates now, Skelly with that Nano and Reactions with that Blade. We might see a Nano Blade coming in from the side here, and as I say that, a quick sleep comes off, and a ultimate from there on as well on that on Dracolors, but it may not be quite enough. We'll see. It's not quite a work, despite the fact that they were able to get super low. Nano coming in from the Reinhardt, and if we glance down here, we can see that the point is still being contested. Logan the Fry manages to get a pick off on Dracolors, but Jerryman is going to get a pick off on their Rhine. And 45 seconds left on the clock, so I would walk in that a little bit under. You can see now that Shrike and Dex starts to move down onto that payload to contest. 5 ultimates here on the Concordia side. Got Jams having swapped over now to the Diva. And there comes a hack from these 2 ultimates being dropped there. The Blade and another ultimate coming off on the Viking side. Dean of Mean gonna get a nice pick. Nobody on the point though, even though the teams have pushed it back. If someone wants to get that point moving, they're going to need to start contesting. Reactions coming in to start contesting. Almost manages to get pick off Sombra, but she is able to warp out in time. And we'll glance now over as we swap into overtime. Taiwood's going to get themselves stunned and unfortunately get picked off. But there still is somebody on the point. Just barely holding on there. Skelly quickly gets picked off. It's Bob. That Ash ultimate there being dropped in, giving a little bit of extra healing, but it's not going to be quite enough. No one quite able to make it to the point, and that's going to be game 3 going to the Vikings. And as the teams get themselves sent back to the lobby, we wish to thank you for tuning in for tonight's game. Join us next time as this season just has begun. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and thanks for watching.